Well, a good afternoon from Dassel, Minnesota, in a beautiful baseball stadium. Before we get going, we want to give you an intro, and we'll have things ready to go here in just moments.
NSPN.TV, in partnership with the Minnesota Baseball Association, brings you coverage of the 2023 Minnesota State Amateur Baseball Tournament, the 100th playing of this great sporting tradition. Coverage is made possible by the Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation, treating addiction, transforming lives. By your local McDonald's owners and operators, offering competitive wages, paid time off, and tuition assistance. And by the Star Tribune, your home for the best prep coverage.
The boys of some are gonna play today. Sure as the sun will rise again, there's gonna be another baseball game on the diamond.
A spectacular afternoon. I'm Joe Rulin along with Phil McLaughlin. And Phil, what an outstanding venue for baseball, but some great teams coming at it here in this next setup.
Yeah, I mean, this will be my fourth game here. It was our fifth game. I did 3 games yesterday, broadcasting 2 and doing camera for 2. 1 today, and then now back on camera. So it's been a great tournament so far.
Well, Phil will be doing both shooting and commentary, and I can only do one thing at a time. Multitasking for me is potato chips and eating, and then a remote control. So just underway. First pitch comes away with Cody Sokolski for Blue Earth. 2 teams from some great communities on the bump today with a great bender right there. Good spin. A little wind picking up and that wind blowing out to center field, but Josh Kingery is on the mound for this Bird Island squad.
So the closest game I've done in the last 5 was that 4-run game I just did. We had some blowouts yesterday, so I'm hoping for a close game here today.
Swung on and missed. Just a filthy breaking ball that fell out. A back foot breaking pitch and the first strikeout of the afternoon for Kingery. Again, he is a draftee from the Atwater squad, and Sokolski goes down swinging. First out of the game. Next up is Hunter Blease. Blease playing right field for the Blue Earth Pirates. They come in with a record of 14-10, swung on and missed. And here's the thing: it's this Josh Kingery has 3 solid pitches. And there you see the heat. He can throw in that low 90s. Oh, man. And earlier this year, I had a chance to speak with his dad. If that last name sounds familiar, it should, because Mike Kingery, originally from Atwater, played 10 years in the major leagues, said his son threw 156 pitches in a 1-0 win over Marshall earlier this year. There's a loft ball that could go foul. It will, just the end of the bat, but it carries. You can see, Phil, that ball is carrying to the outfield.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did have one over the fence in right field in the first game today. Nice shot, 2-run shot back in the first game. So the ball is carrying nice here. Beautiful day, last Sunday here in August. So
0-2 delivery here. Called a strike. Now it's 0-2 delivery. He's been around the plate from the first pitch. Josh Kingery for Bird Island. This one's off the mark. Bird Island comes in with a record of 24-4, and they've put together some impressive win streaks this season, including one that was 15 straight wins.
Got some good speed on the fastball.
Yes, definitely some get up and go. 2-2 delivery. Breaking ball that time. Just around the plate, not on the corner. And we're going to full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, number 3 hitter. That one falls off the hand in the grip there of Kingery. First base runner on. We'll get a look and see what that speed can do. Now you have a left-handed starter as Olsen. Olsen draws the walk, and next up is Kane Malo, third baseman. Blue Earth got here with a 7-2 win over Stark. Had a chance to talk to the manager of Blue Earth before the game, and a vicious fastball there just bites down low. He said we had a tough start. Started the season 0-5 rather, in May. This loft base hit, nice knock. Runner advances to third. He's going to try to get him on the throw. What an arm from center field, but still not in time. Runners now at first and third with 2 outs. And Blue Earth
by Olson kind of caught the center fielder nonchalantly going after the ball, and a good hustle to go from first to third.
Yeah, on that play you could tell it was just not quite the energy coming towards that ball, and some good eyes by Olson to pick up on that. This brings up Hodges. I couldn't read my writing there for a minute. Lee Hodges, the number 5 hitter. Also playing first base. Ahead in the count, Kingery. Again, being a left-handed pitcher, first and third, sometimes you like to see that runner take off, but Kingery's pretty poised up there, and he'll keep an eye. This time it looks like a delay steal is on right now. It's going to run down to second, tried to draw the throw, so Olson at third could potentially try to score, but they'll let him go down. A lot of confidence in the pitching here of Kingery to close up this inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We're at the top half of the first. It's Bird Island, the home team, in the field, taking on Blue Earth. There's a breaking ball there. Just off the plate, not enough of the corner to be called a strike. 2s are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs and 2 on. This is on, gets the knock. Runners trying to round third, and they've got 1 in already. A 2-out rally happening here. Impressive.
So the aggressive running there by Olson does pay off, because if he's standing on second base on that hit, it would just be moving up to third. So forcing the issue, and that equals a run here to start the ball game off.
Yeah, and you know what? Some of these pitchers that can go the distance, you got to attack them early. You're right, Phil, and that brings up O'Hara. Logan O'Hara, pass ball. Here's a chance they're going to get him to have him. Out. Delayed call as the runner came in from third. That was Malo. Kingery was there waiting for the catcher to toss it back, and he did just that. Made the tag, but it's Blue Earth who comes away with 1 run on top half of the first. An RBI single by Hodges. Impressive 2-out rally. Going to go in there for the Pirates.
Yeah, good hustle there by Kingery coming in to cover home plate and get the out, make up for that.
Hey, you know, you can always tell the complete ball by some of those intangibles. The complete ball player by doing those little things, backing up, and that time he hustled in and carried that out. On the mound will be Derek Dahlke. Dahlke on the mound for Blue Earth. And we'll get a look at some of those. Both the starters for these teams are draftees. And I was trying to catch where I think it was Dahlke came from. I believe he had it here. My bad. But meanwhile, we'll get a look at the Bird Island lineup here. And we'll get set. Dahlke is out of Belle Plaine.
Yeah, Belle Plaine Tigers, yep.
And I'll look there. Leading off will be Brandon Tierstig as the leadoff hitter. Sitting second will be Trent Athman, followed by Jimmy Wolfel. Meanwhile, hitting sixth at first base will be Alfering. Then number 23, Sagadal, back from the Northwest Woods League. Dillershell, followed by Swan, Gass, Walton, and Kingery will not hit. He'll be purely pitching, but he can swing the bat as well. So, getting it going here, we'll get a look at Dahlke and see what can transpire here. See if the Bullfrogs of Bird Island can counter. First pitch off the mark. A team here that can certainly produce some runs, can Bird Island. Their regular season game ended, the season ended with an impressive win over one of the teams in Class A, a top team in Class A. Catches it in front of the bag. Long throw. This goes almost aerial, but getting the throw in time by a hiccup. Nice play at third that time. And we've got one out as Turstig is retired, 5-3. Athman steps in, 275 average. Multi-tool player. A 412 on base percentage as well. Gives a look and fouls that one straight back. Dalkey.
Yeah, I kind of wonder sometimes with the chemistry of the catcher and the pitcher when the pitcher's a draftee. They haven't worked with each other, most of the summer like they have with their own team. Wonder if that comes into factor much.
Yeah, I was seeing that last night a little bit myself and thought the same thing, just the release. There's a ball hit. Different release points, arm slots. Spin rates are a little different. And it's just, you'll be surprised the activity on the ball just at different release points, and that's tough for the catcher.
Yeah, and probably not a lot of practices to kind of get that down. These guys aren't professional players, so a little different than trade deadline in Major League Baseball when they can work together for quite a while.
Right. That ball up top. 1-2 count now, too. Trent Athman. Home run on the year, and this is a little flare. A good old-fashioned flare that barely makes it to the outfield off the trademark of the bat and the first base hit of the afternoon for Bird Island. Stepping in is Jimmy Wolfel, the catcher. Wolfel's been out a little while with some injuries, but he's come back and had a chance to speak with the manager for Bird Island, and Mike Nagel. He says it's good to have him back. He's kind of solidified that lineup, and he's a catcher that we count on. He has a good rapport with his pitchers. Wolfel comes in hitting .323 this season and an on-base percentage of .405. 16 runs scored, 13 RBIs. A delivery here by Dalkey. This one hit the second. They can't get that lead runner. Again, that one is well off the handle. That allows the speedster Athman to get the second, but Wolfel thrown out at first by second, and that ball had a little bit of a pool cue spin to it that time. 2 down, and Elfring now steps in. Aiden Elfring, 2 home runs on the season, hitting .346. And there's a knock to left field. Let's see if they're going to hold Athman there. They will. So similar situations here. 2 outs, runners, first and third. That's the same situation that happened with Blue Earth in their top half of the first.
The shortstop, number 23, Jordan Sagadol.
And now Sagadol from the Northwest Woods League. He has rejoined the team, and this kid's got a bat. Explosive bat. A good 5-tool player. And a great pitch by Dalkey.
Good cut, too.
Helfinger tried to barrel that one up. As you get a look at the outfield, shaded a little bit towards left, and that wind blowing out to center. Nice pitch again. Dalkey sneaky with those pitches, and he's really this time kind of locking up those inside pitches, not allowing them to extend. 0-2 delivery now for Dahlke, and swung on and missed. They'll tag him for the out, and Sagadal goes down. Sagadal goes down swinging for the strikeout. We have one in the book, and it's a 1-0 lead for Blue Earth. More coming your way here in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Dylan. I work for McDonald's in Western Wisconsin.
Hi there, how may I help you?
What I've learned working here is people and communication skills and time management.
13.
Archways to Opportunity is a great benefit. It makes being a working student easier because McDonald's is helping pay for college. I'm studying in college to be an elementary school teacher.
Big chicken, small fry.
Working here in a hectic environment will help me be a better school teacher.
For job information, text APPLY to 38000 or visit jobs.mchire.com.
Back at Dassel on a windy day, but a very sunny and great environment for baseball. They have seen, we've had a chance also to kind of seen, I know they always talk about Wrigley Field as the, cathedral of baseball, but I like to think when it comes time for the town ball, you see all the cathedrals of baseball in the state of Minnesota. Each of them have their own niche. So leading off here, second inning is O'Hara. O'Hara, if you recall, was hitting when there was a pass ball. And then Melo was thrown out at home as he tried to advance and score the second run.
So would you say the Town Ball Tavern at Target Field would be a collection of cathedrals?
Absolutely. Can I get an amen? Can I get a witness?
Great photos in that tavern, just to take a look at all the nice fields and to see which ones I've been to and worked at.
Lifted back. Well, I grew up not far from Bird Island. So taking the road down to 212. Nice, beautiful pitch. The bottom jumped out of that one by Kingery. Oh my, that was a frozen pizza type of curveball, and O'Hara goes down. That's the third strikeout here in the second inning for Kingery, setting up Legred. Kalen Legred, the shortstop. Drops the bunt. Beautiful bunt. I love the bunt. The power of the bunt. That's exactly what you need to do is get that defense moving, get the pitcher thinking about something other than the traditional look at plate. And a great bunt that time by Legred.
You love to see that in the state tournament, executing a play like that.
That thing ran parallel on the dirt, not even on the grass, on the dirt with that third base line. Legred, a 338 hitter. And you know what? The great strategy is Naraki steps in. When you square around sometimes, you're kind of creating a behavior that's not used that often, right? And so sometimes you can get in the head of an overpowering pitcher in Kingery. And also you get the fielders thinking. And then what did you mention earlier in the first inning? The catcher may not be used to receiving a lot of balls from that existing pitcher that is a drafty, and now you got something else going on in the melon, at least for me it would be. Throw over the first, trying to see if it'll lean in. And they're going to call a balk on Kingery. So Legred heads to second base after the single bunt. Down the third base line, Tanner, Naraki, and head coach Nagel comes over to have a discussion.
And like you're saying, you're bunting, you're having to go to his pickoff move. It takes him kind of out of that rhythm, and so he can't just stand back there and throw darts. Now he's actually got to play baseball, and I think that kind of messes him there on that block.
And this is, hey, when I would coach, the one thing I would say is don't let the pitcher get comfortable. Mm-hmm. Even fake a bunt. Move it. Have them see something different. Own that at bat. There's one off the end of the bat to first. Gathering that and making the play.
Also, another thing I love about town town ball baseball is it's different from Major League Baseball. They don't do a lot of bunting in Major League Baseball. This is more pure baseball. Also, there's no pitch clock in town ball baseball. There's no need for it. You know, pitcher gets the ball and he's on the rubber. He's ready to go to work.
Absolutely. And, you know, there aren't bonuses, I don't think, in town team ball for bunts, but it sure looks like it sometimes, right? There's many bunts as they put down the players in MLB. Those high strikeout rates. Misses the outside part of the plate here. Two outs here. Top half of the second, it's a 1-0 lead for Blue Earth, but they have a runner at third. Once again, second consecutive inning, they've had a runner at third. And called a strike. Kingery down low, nice block. Wolf making that block. And, you know, it feels that pressure sometimes as if you're Wolfel, although he's a solid, well-rounded catcher. Another runner on third. Last inning, almost a run scored by the pass ball. And that one swung on and missed for another strikeout. That will end as Myers swings his way back. Striking out the side that time was Kingery. And we're at the end of the top half of the second. We'll return with more baseball in just a moment.
Star Tribune covers high school sports as passionately as you live them. Don't miss a beat on the games you love. Check out Star Tribune all day, every day for the latest prep news, scores, and so much more.
Welcome back. NSPN TV. Joe ruling along with Phil McLaughlin and Phil on the camera and doing color. Little CNC time. Thanks for joining us, Phil.
You bet. Pleasure to be working with you.
And hey, it's what a great venue here. You've had a couple of games here already.
One today and 4 yesterday. 2 play-by-play and 2 on the camera. So.
What was the best team you saw yesterday?
I think it would have been the Brewers last night.
The New Ulm Brewers?
Brewers, yep.
Nice.
Yeah, their starting pitcher, Thompson, was pretty dominant.
Bottom of the second. Bird Island could not punch or run across. This inning, they're going to lead it off. With Dillershell. A roller down the third base line, and Dillershell comes in, hitting at a .269 clip. 21 runs and 12 RBIs. The Bullfrogs come in with a mark of 24-4. And again, their last game in the regular season was a 6-3 win versus Lions Pub, a team that was ranked near the top in Class A. They were defeated by Anoka in their first round game, but pretty impressive performance for Bird Island, and they have been hot since then and kind of throughout the season. A team that broke their 15-game win streak, by the way, was Plato, who I had a chance to see last night as they were defeated by the Laverne Redbirds. Redbirds came back from a deficit heading in to the top of the bottom of the ninth and came up with 2 runs.
Joe, who's the best team that you've seen so far in this tournament?
Yeah, that's a great question. I really like the Meesville team that I had a chance to see. It's funny because their number 9 hitter, and his name eludes me, was hitting 300, and he got things going. He went yard in Waconia last Saturday night. It was 0-0 score, I think, heading into the fifth, and he also ended up with 3 RBIs, but he's a phenomenal hitter, and I'd never seen that before, a guy that hits that well. Sure. Kind of reignites that, but they field well, they pitch well, and it sounds like they were winners yesterday as well in their second game. Popped up here is Swan. Gives it a swing. You saw the walk to Dillershelt. Bird Island, certainly a team rich in tradition when it comes to sports, also the home of Barry Wooler. Wooler ended up pitching for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Throw down back to first to try to see if they can catch Dillershelt off. Wooler is the last athlete to play all 3 sports at the University of Minnesota.
Oh, I did not know that.
I want to say Bud Grant was the previous person who did that. Swung on and missed by Swan. He'll go down. A strikeout.
Now, did Dave Winfield play all 3? I know he was drafted in all 3.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think he played all 3, but he was drafted.
Okay.
He was drafted. He was the last. I think, one of the last players ever to be drafted.
Right, in all 3.
By the Padres. I'm trying to think who the MBA team was, and then the NFL team. Good pitch is stepping up here is Dylan Gass. Gass, by the way, was the pitcher who picked up the win versus that big win versus Lions Pub. Off the foot. The one thing you see from Bird Island is they've got pitching depth because Gass is a guy who's thrown 56 innings this year and has an ERA of 0.32.
Wow.
And they have 2 other guys who have thrown 60 innings and have an ERA right around 1 or less. Head coach Mike Nagel said the one thing, Joe, we can use is we need to come out aggressively. Sometimes we get caught watching too many pitches and looking for the perfect pitch. And when you're playing at this level in the state tournament, you got to get out early because pitching is a premium, and a swung on and missed there. You can see if Gass goes down swinging, as did Swan, 2 excellent hitters. Gass came up to that at bat with an on-base percentage of .373. And that will bring up Zeke Walton. Walton hitting .220 on the season. Still a runner at first. Another broken bat to third to throw in time. And Bird Island is retired after 2 completes and 3 broken bats. It is still a 1-0 lead after 2 complete for Blue Earth. On a gorgeous afternoon from Dassel, Minnesota, what a ball yard. Look at that grass cut. You know, as a kid and still as an adult today, I'd love to have my yard look like that. And I try it. That's why I want to do the yard.
Yeah.
I just can't get it done.
Well, one nice thing, too, is, we had that heat during the week at the triple-digit temperatures. And it's nice that it's cooled off, especially for the catchers, and just to be able to see some good baseball and not have the weather really affect it. I know we had some hot games last weekend, so the guys that survived and are playing this weekend are treated to just a beautiful weekend here last weekend in the summer. Or last weekend of August, I should say.
You got it. And you know what? I even hate thinking about the state fair. I will take 90-degree weather, 80-degree weather any day. with the humidity to match. I call it a happy hour sweat because I can go outside, walk, and sweat twice as much by doing hardly nothing. Well, they flipped the lineup. That is the Blue Earth Pirates. Cody Sokolsky comes back up. He struck out his first at bat. And a call out, punched out that time by behind the plate umpire for his strikeout, second strikeout of the game. I have Kingery, Josh Kingery, for 6 strikeouts already.
I do as well, yep.
Number 2 hitter is Hunter Blees, also struck out his first time up. I always like to kind of see how they're going to adjust. This one's lifted to center field. That wind's still blowing out, and that's going to still drop in front of the center fielder. He was playing extremely deep. And that time unable to get in front. That was Athman. Blees came in with a 371 hitter. And now Brandon Olson. He has scored the lone run here and a 368 hitter. He had an impressive at bat his first time up. Really battled Kingery. I liked his hustle, and I like the fact he isn't wearing any batting gloves.
Old school.
Olson went 2 for 3 in their first round win over Stark. You can tell he's got some quick hands. Just off the plate, a little changeup. He's got a great fastball, does Kingery. Changeup and a slider. Oh, goodness. That thing was filthy coming in on the hands. It looked like he was just winding up, and before you knew it, it was in the catcher's mitt. Comes back with the same pitch, and Olson lifts this one foul. Lives to play another pitch. Olson, a 368 hitter, 434 on base percentage. 13 walks. And they got him at first on the pickoff by Kingery. You could hear the whole Bird Island squad yell all at once. It was like a cadence march. Got him. And they did.
That's a nice move. The left-handed move always just makes you uncomfortable at first base.
It does. And there's a called strike. Punched out. Olson thought maybe he could convince the umpire. He thought it was off the corner. Umpire punched him out. Struck out there. So, down in order. 3 up, 3 down for Blue Earth here in the top half of the third as we head to the bottom of the third. And we'll return for that bottom of the third in just a moment.
For all your scoreboard, video display, and sound system needs, please give Amy Electronics a call and let their 35-plus years of experience help elevate your game day atmosphere to the next level. Amy Electronics is a local Daktronics representative throughout Minnesota and can be reached at 952-941-9830. Amy Electronics is located in Eden Prairie, Minnesota, just off of Highway 169, Highway 212, and Interstate 494.
Minnesota is celebrating a century of state town ball championships. 80 teams in 2 classes chasing a late summer's dream. For a comprehensive recap of the weekend of state tournament stories and highlights, tune in to Bally's Sports North on Sundays for Amateur Baseball Today, presented by the Minnesota Baseball Association. It debuts right after the Twins Live postgame show. Amateur Baseball Today on Bally's Sports North.
Coming to the bottom of the third, thanks for joining us. Joe Rulin along with Phil McLaughlin, and we are experiencing just a beautiful day at a great baseball venue, one of the cathedrals in Minnesota for baseball stadiums here in Dassel. I was at another last night in Delano.
Beautiful park.
Bird Island, good job here. They flipped their lineup. Terstig who grounded to third his first time up and now laces a single, a three-hopper right up the middle.
Brings up the center fielder, number 15.
Like you said, being aggressive, that was a first pitch swing.
It's funny you said that, too, because I thought the same thing as what Coach Mike Nagel had mentioned. And you wonder if he got in their heads as they came back in that third inning to say, let's get up there and swing the bat. Athman now steps in for the Frogs. A beautiful bunt here. Forced to go to first. And you know what? Some say, well, why would you give up an out? But to me, it's really kind of a it can be kind of a momentum swing. Get that first run across. Break that goose egg. Find any way you need to do it, because then from there it can break wide open. Jimmy Wolfel, the catcher. He's grounded to second. His first time up in the first. Still trailing 1-0. Some get up and go on that fastball by Dalkey.
And Dalkey is trying to match Kingerly with strikeouts. He doesn't have 7, but he's dueling on the mound as well. So 1 run is very important.
Hopper, will that get through? It does! Beyond the outstretched arms and trying to come in and score. This is going to be close. The tag is out. Got him. Turstig gets home, or Turstig is tagged out, but the runner advances to second. Wolfel, and with that, you're throwing into that wind from an outfield, and that ball got quickly to the outfield. It was hit so well. Turstig took kind of a wide turn at third, and he was tagged out at home, and wow. Trying to get that first run across, but on the play, Wolfel goes to second. And so with 2 outs, they'll bring up the number 4 hitter in Aiden Elfring.
We just love to see a good relay play, Got a guy at home plate. That's 2 now in this game that was out at home plate. So keeping the 1-0 lead intact.
But you're seeing those little things, right? Just those little good cuts, good bunt execution. Kingery had a pass ball get by his catcher. He got home, received the ball, tagged the runner out. And that's why they're here into the second round of this Class C state tournament. This one's laced in the left, and Haddock hauling it in. That ball was hit on the screws, Phil. Mm-hmm. Wow. Elfering laced that one and making a nice play in left field was Brandon Olson. I've got to tell you, with that wind blowing out and that thing hit on the screws, that's a tough ball to catch. And we are at the end of 3 complete. I love the juice of this game. It's happening here at Dassel. Come back for the 4th inning, 1-0 lead, Blue Earth over Bird Island.
For all your scoreboard, video display, and sound system needs, please give Amy Electronics a call and let their 35-plus years of experience help elevate your game day atmosphere to the next level. Amy Electronics is a local Daktronics representative throughout Minnesota and can be reached at 952-941-9830. Amy Electronics is located in Eden Prairie, Minnesota, just off of Highway 169, Highway 212, and Interstate 494.
Minnesota is celebrating a century of state town ball championships. 80 teams in 2 classes chasing a late summer's dream. For a comprehensive recap of the weekend of state tournament stories and highlights, tune in to Bally's Sports North on Sundays for Amateur Baseball Today, presented by the Minnesota Baseball Association. It debuts right after the Twins Live postgame show. Amateur Baseball Today on Bally's Sports North.
Leading off this half of the inning for the Pirates, the third baseman, number 8, Kane Malo.
Top half of the 4th, a fake bunt just to get that different look going. We talked about that, Phil, and that's a ball called there.
And even with the fake bunt, though, it does bring Kingery off the mound. You know, like gets to his rhythm again.
Every time I say it's a fast-moving game, it just slows down. But I don't think this game will be that. I think you're seeing such just fantastic pitching at this level with no pitch restrictions.
And like you said, there's good juice in this game. And you look at the crowd. We got a great crowd here today. Not an empty seat in the house.
Strike there as Malo was trying to make his way down to first. There's a hard hit to third, getting up, making the throw, and getting Malo just by a step.
That brings up the first baseman, number 22, Lee Hodges.
Hodges steps up, and Hodges picked up a hit in the RBI in that first inning. One out, top of the fourth. It's Blue Earth who scored first and scored the lone run in the first inning. Ahead in the count now, Kingery. And now it's the ball four. There's again a little cross-up sometimes between the pitcher and the catcher. That one goes low, tough to block for Wolfel.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 20, Logan O'Hara.
And O'Hara steps up. O'Hara struck out his first at-bat. He actually had two first at-bats officially.
Can't imagine that Hodges is much of a threat to steal.
No, I don't think. Oh, and when you have a lefty, what a filthy breaking pitch. Some serious spin. Yep, and Hodges, no stolen bases this year. Not sure.
Oh.
There, a little Olay tag attempt at first there for the Bullfrogs.
Now batting for the Pirates, the catcher, number 6, Kalen Legred.
Flair for the catch and the out that time, and 2 down. Kalen Legred, a single. First at bat, and drew a balk. That was in the second inning. Wolfel wants to throw down. I just kind of like, there's all these elements. There's nothing passive about either of these teams. The catcher's always looking for a throwdown. Kingery pitching. Josh Kingery has just a great move at first. There's a ground ball up the middle. Nice job of hitting. And that's the thing I like, what I see with Blue Earth. They're not trying to do too much. They see a ball, and typically, hey, to get yourself into a zone and see the ball well, sometimes you want to bunt. Or sometimes I'm going to take it easy here, and I'm just going to try to take this one right up the middle.
Well, and there's something to be said. This is the second time through the order, so they've all had a chance to see Kingery.
Legred now 2 for 2 on the afternoon. 2 outs, top half of the fourth, as Nawrocki steps in. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't mind that last name, Joe Nawrocki. This is Tanner. 2 on, 2 outs, and a breaking pitch there.
That was pretty.
Some heavy spin rate on that pitch. A look into the delivery, comes back with it again, swings over the top of that breaking pitch. First time up, Naraki grounded to first, unassisted out here. So 2 outs, 2 strikes on the number 8 hitter. What I enjoy watching, too, with the good pitchers is that arm slot, the release points. Each pitch looks the same. Very little tell in terms of arm slot dropping down. High hopper. Oh, safe is the call. I was surprised it was that close. That thing was a high hopper like at old Texas Arlington Stadium where the sun would bake that dirt. I thought he was going to fair catch that huge hop. Instead, he made a laser of a throw. So now bases are juiced. Top half of the 4th. Brings up the number 9 hitter in Myers, Parker Myers. He struck out his first time up, and a chance to come up big here. Behind in the count now is Kingery at 2-0. Got to think he's coming back with that heater, dead red, and comes inside, almost hits. It almost looked as though that time Myers was going to try to stick a knee out and grab that walk. It's 2-1. Michael is the count now. 2 outs, bases loaded, Blue Earth. A 1-run lead. Here's a foul ball, a little flare that hits the netting just down that first base line, and we have 2-2 count. Again, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases juiced here for the Pirates. Pirates came in with a record of 14-10, had been starting to heat it up a little bit more and more. And they have a chance here to extend that 1-0 lead. Swung on and missed. Cole to strike out another back foot breaking ball that time by Kingery. Holy cow. So
impressive.
They shut him down. Nothing across the plate this time again for Blue Earth. We're at the top of the 4th is complete. We'll return to the bottom of the 4th here in just a moment.
MaxBat is proud to support the Minnesota Baseball Association as we are the official wood bat. We take great pride in producing high-quality wood bats for professional, amateur, and youth baseball players worldwide. At MaxBat, our main focus is quality, customer service, and quick turnaround time. All MaxBats are created using meticulous hand craftsmanship and engineering in our state-of-the-art facility in the heart of Town Ball Country, Brewton, Minnesota. Minnesota amateur baseball has always been a big part of our success. We want to thank you for your continued support and for making us the leading wood bat brand in Minnesota. Good luck to all our loyal customers playing in the state tournament.
And we're back here live at St. Stadium in Dassel, Minnesota. Play-by-play guy Joe Rulen is checking stats here, and so we'll just paint the picture for you. It's still a 1-0 ball game here as the Blue Earth Pirates and the Bird Island Bullfrogs do battle.
The shortstop, number 23, Jordan Sagdahl.
And Jordan Sagdahl will come to battle. It'll be Sagdahl, followed by Ditterschall, and then Swan as the Bullfrogs look to jump onto the scoreboard here.
Appreciate that coverage, Phil, as a ball hit down the line. This could be extra bases. Sagdahl gets by. This gets by the left fielder. This could potentially be a triple. He rounds second. On his way, he'll be in there for probably a double and a one-base error. Sagdahl gets it going and leads it off for Bird Island here in the bottom half of the 4th. And they needed that.
And again, I think that was a first pitch swinging, wasn't it?
That was, see?
There you go. That's how you have success.
That's what's trending. And see if they gave him actually a double or a triple on that. We'll stick with the deuce. And that brings up Dillershell. Dillershell walked his first time up in that second inning. This one's lifted to left. Tagging. Sagadal, and he will score. First run across, and the Bullfrogs are putting that bat in motion. And now we're knotted.
After getting out of a bases loaded in the last half inning, coming up with a run, momentum could be shifting here.
Good pitch by Dulkey there. And Swan over the top of that off-speed breaking pitch that looked like it fell off a table. Lifted high. Dulkey says he has it. It's in the glove for out number 2. And maybe he's starting to pick up on that first swing pitch and trying to find a way to get them to chase some pitches, but Gass steps in here, struck out his first time up. Let's see where Dulkey locates this first pitch. If he brings something out of the strike zone, if he knows they're going to be attacking the ball here in the bottom of the 4th. Gass watches that one for the first strike. Knotted up here, bottom of the 4th. That time you could see that he kind of released it across his body and it went outside for the ball. Zeke Walton on deck for Bird Island. Gass had a heck of a pitching season as well. 56 innings pitched. An ERA of .320. 44 strikeouts and just 7 walks as a pitcher. Now as the hitter, comes in with a .235 average and an on-base percentage of .373. You like to see that because sometimes you want to know, hey, are they chasing? How are they getting themselves on base? Taking some walks? He's done that. He's got almost a dozen walks this season. Swung on and missed in the strikeout in the Bird Island Bullfrogs. Well, their 4th inning is complete, but not before they knotted up. We're at aces. It's a 1-1 tie after 4 complete here in Dassel between Blue Earth and Bird Island. More baseball coming your way.
It started with a simple idea. To break what the game knows. To evolve the standard. It's time to revolutionize defense. Printed in 4D for a breakthrough in technology. Ultra lightweight, resilient, form fit, game ready and pro tested. Designed for a revolution. Engineered for defense. The Rev 1X.
Local sports coverage can be found on NSPN.TV all year long. From the first crack at the bat in August to the final putt in June.
And that is good for the individual championship.
We are there. Subscribe to the Neighborhood Sports Network to watch events both live and on demand, including state tournament coverage in every sport. Email jobs at nspn.tv if you'd like to join our team of broadcasters and camera operators. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Welcome back for the top half of the 5th. Winner advances to this Labor Day weekend state tournament championship run. Both these teams certainly capable of going the distance in Class C. They've got some depth of pitching, some great hitting. Sokolsky, good hitter at 262, an on-base percentage of 392. But he has struck out twice today versus Kingery. This one's lifted to center, kind of getting the timing down on that one. Sokolsky does, but Athman is there to handle the fly to center. And out number one, top half of the fifth here for Blue Earth. Hunter Blees steps in. Struck out his first time up and a single in that third, then was picked off. Turns on his fastball, gets the barrel out in front, down to third base, line on left field on the warning track. Wow, nice play. I really thought that ball wasn't even going to stay in the park. I thought it was going to be a foul into the stand. So quickly 2 outs now. A fly out to left field. Brings up the number 3 hitter, Brandon Olson, who got caught looking last time up. He walked his first time up, and he's scored the lone run of the game here thus far for Blue Earth. That was in the first inning. Good balance for both of these teams. Continues to fight inside. Does Kingery. He's got velo and finesse. A fastball in the low 90s, is what I've been told. There's a strike.
Yeah, if he's hitting the spots inside and throwing 90s, he's going to be breaking a few more bats here today.
Back again. Dalkey actually, I think, has the lead with these two pitchers with broken bats. I counted 3 for Dalkey on Bird Island. I don't know if they adjusted their stances or what. Outside pitch there, and that time, last time he was up, he tried to get that call and started his way down first base this time, and he got punched out for the strikeout. This time, he makes it down to first without being called back. So gets the walk, his second walk of the game. And Malo now stepping in for Blue Earth. Malo a single. His first at bat, swings over the top of that pitch, and then he hit a ground ball to third for an out. Then his second at bat. Coming into the game, Malo hitting .390. 45 at bats, 15 RBIs, a couple of doubles. A player that just doesn't strike out much. He only has 2 strikeouts on the season. Boy, that's saying something when you strike out a guy who's only had 2 Ks on the season and hitting .390. Malo goes down swinging. That is the 9th strikeout of the game for Kingery as we are in midway through the 5th.
A little play-by-play jinx there, right?
You're right. Yeah, thanks a lot, Joe. Never swings out. That guy never has a hole in his bat. And a great pitch that time. I'd say Kingery is a joy to watch. Actually, both of these pitchers, just how they can control the pitches. I mean, there's the location and around the plate, and looks like we're going to get a new arm in there, speaking of which, here for Blue Earth. So coming in for Blue Earth will be Lewis Majors. He comes from the St. Clair Wood Ducks.
Got a couple of scores here for you, Joe.
Let's have them.
The Milton Crescents they lost to the Kewaskum A's 4-0. And your Minnesota Twins are down by a run to the Rangers. It's in the top of the 7th.
Wow. Good action here. I mentioned a pitching change here from Majors now comes in, Lewis Majors. Out of Mankato. Majors, by the way, for the Pirates, in his outing versus Stark, he picked up the win, did Majors, for the Pirates. Well earned. He went 5 2/3, struck out 8, didn't allow a hit, and walked 3. Some major power arms here. Everything else stays the same for Blue Earth and the Pirates. They switch up pitchers. It's similar to what they did, only they relieved Dalkey a little earlier in their previous game and their win over Stark.
I'll give you one other score here, Joe. In the Little League Baseball World Series, the championship game, El Segundo, California has a 2-0 lead over Caraco. Wilmstead Caraco, the top of the third inning, a 2-0 lead for California.
Now that would be a cool last name too, Caraco, Joe Caraco. This one's lifted to the gap. First pitch, it's going to the fence and finds the gap all the way to right center, tagging the first pitch from the reliever. Wow. They didn't wait again, right? They went right after that first pitch by Majors. And keep in mind, Majors threw against Stark. 5 2/3 innings. Didn't allow a hit. Struck out 8. Walked just 3. First pitch. And Bird Island gets it going. This game, I'm telling you, has some serious juice happening. Swings the lineup. It's the number 9 hitter. Luke Walton just laces that double. And now you flip the lineup to the number 1 hitter and Turstig. Turstig has singled his last time up. Tried to score, but tossed out at home on a great throw from the outfield. Cut down at home. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Still knotted at ones. Chance here for the Bullfrogs to capture their first lead of the game here with the number 9 hitter Walton at second, leading off with the double. No outs here. Three and 0 now to the leadoff hitter, Turstig. Turstig came in hitting .300 on the season and an on-base percentage of .369. Dead red on that fastball. The wind isn't blowing so directly out to center field this time. Now it's moving more from center to right. And this might drop. This has a chance to drop. No, it's caught in right field. Long throw, and they're going to make it. Good tag. I think they probably did some scouting, Phil, on that play. The ball hit to right. Nice job of the right fielder to get to that ball by Blease. But not the strongest of arms, and that allows the leadoff hitter Walton, after his double, to advance to third on that fly ball to right.
And that's just been their MO all game. They're aggressive. So it's just an aggressive move on the base paths. Take that extra base.
Trent Aspin, the center fielder.
Infield playing on the grass. Hot smash off the bat of Aspin, and they're going to come home with it.
Just the one out. Sometimes you see this situation, maybe if it's an 8-9 hitter and you think suicide squeeze. But your number 2 hitter, Aspin, at .275, singled his first time up. It went back to the pitcher his second time. Ground ball will find its way through, an ICN single on a drawn-in infield. And Bird Island has their first lead of the game on an RBI single by Athman. That time, very patient hitter. You could tell he was trying to get Athman to maybe chase or lunge at a pitch. He finally put one in play with that drawn-in infield, and they capitalize on the leadoff double by Walton, and he scores. And the Bullfrogs grab their first lead at 2-1. Bottom of the fifth, stepping in is Wolfel. Wolfel singled his last time up. In fact, it was his single in which Terstig tried to score, and he was cut down at home. Wolfel, a .323 hitter, .405 on-base percentage. Terstig, by the way, leads the team in runs scored, but there's 4 players tied for 16 runs scored. There's a hit move, trying to get it to second. No, just tie goes to the runner on that one. Couldn't have been any closer to a tie. And I think maybe Athman thought perhaps that was going to get through, or he wasn't going to make the throw, but a nice play at short, good range.
Yeah, good effort.
Good deep in the hole there by Naraki, and made a dart throw. So we're still set here. Table is set. Runners at first and second. That's the number 4 hit here. Elfring. Aiden Elfring. Elfring hitting .346 on the season. Second in the team in hits. First in the team in RBIs with 21. A chance to collect another one here with just a 1 out. Runners at first and second. Goes for that high cheese that time. He got him to walk the ladder and take a swat there. Good pitch. Again, this is the first inning for Lewis Magers, who's in. Another drafty player on the mound. And those are kind of the players you see get drafted, are the excellent pitchers. And, you know, that's the case also for Bird Island with Kingery. Coach Mike Nagel said, you know what, I asked the guys, let's get together. They got together as a team and the players and said, yes, we got to have Kingery here. There's a bounce back to the pitcher. Runners at first and second. Thought about second and almost threw it away at first. Had a few too many choices. And finally gets the runner at first.
Now batting for the Bullfrogs, the shortstop, number 23, Jordan.
And a hard smash like that, it's almost like he had too much time.
Sagadol now, who scored the first run for Rhode Island, a double his last time up. The chance to extend the lead here for the Frogs. Takes this one right up the middle, a high hop. Jets down at first in time, makes the play, a fantastic fielding play. Love the leather, love the flash on these plays defensively. As this tournament gets deeper, you see so much improved play across the way. Will return. We're at the end of 5 complete, and Bird Island has their first lead at 2-1.
Pumpkin patch. The pumpkin patch.
Hi, I'm Dylan. I work for McDonald's in Western Wisconsin.
Hi there, how may I help you?
What I've learned working here is people and communication skills and time management.
213.
Archways to Opportunity is a great benefit. It makes being a working student easier because McDonald's is helping pay for college. I'm studying in college to be an elementary school teacher.
Big chicken, small fry.
Working here in a hectic environment will help me be a better school teacher.
For job information, text APPLY to 38000 or visit jobs.mchire.com.
Joe rolling along with Phil McLaughlin. Phil, great to have a couple of us on the headset here for such a great level of play in this state tournament, the Class C. As the teams advance and their season gets longer, you're seeing teams that are certainly stronger as along the way and playing well in all elements of the game.
You know, Joe, you were talking earlier about number 9 hitter that was batting 300. In the game I did before this one, Maple Lake and Cortland, Maple Lake had their number 9 hitter. His name escapes me, but everything he was asked to do, he did perfectly. He got a walk and scored a run. He had a sacrifice bunt, got it down, moved the runner. Another time he came up to bat, he had a sacrifice fly RBI. So, you know, being able to contribute from anywhere in the lineup makes the team dangerous. And that's why they're playing, you know, in the second weekend of the tournament.
You know, in baseball, so situational. But you got to have a plan each time you go up there and know your role. Hey, is it to advance a runner? Is it to, see some pitches? Or is it to attack the ball here? Top half of the 6th. And the Pirates will bring up Hodges. Lee Hodges. Strike there by Kingery. Kingery struck out Malo to end that 5th inning. And that was his 9th strikeout of the game. It's good ball. Here's the thing, when you see the game, the environment is just great here. Here's a late shot to short. A one-hopper in time. Great play by Sagadol that time. And you know what, just even on that play, he got down low on the ball and squared up on it. He didn't try to take it from the side or whatever. It was just just some of the fundamentals. I always am one who just enjoys that element of it. In fact, what I always say when I coach was, hey, we're going to pitch and field first, and hitting is dessert.
I like it.
He did not like that called strike. Did Hodges. Down on the count 0-2, and boy.
There it is. Double digits.
It's called a bar stool swing on that one. He was kind of frozen on that pitch. He wasn't happy with the previous called strike to O'Hara, and it looked like it kind of stuck with him. 10 strikeouts now for Kingery. Here in the top half of the 6th. And that'll bring up Legred. Legred comes in with a couple of knocks. Couple of singles, but unable to score just yet. 2-1 lead. And we talked about baseball being so situational, Phil, that everything is different every time you come up. There's a different situation on what is your goal, your plan when you get up there. You saw this with Blue Earth after their first 2 innings when they had accumulated about 5 strikeouts. They finally came up. The next inning, started to put some bunts down.
Yep.
And trying to create a different look. There's a velo. It's a fastball with some conviction there. That was like, hey, let's get back in there. Let's get at it. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and there's a walk. So good for here in Legred. He has reached base. Every at-bat is on base percentage of 1,000 here, 3 for 3. Let's see if they can get something going here with 2 outs, and Tanner Naraki steps in. Naraki singled his last time up. And a fly to first at his first at bat. Naraki came into this game hitting 139 and an on-base percentage of 340. He's getting singles And I'm not sure if that's more towards the base runner because frozen pizza. I'm telling you, he'll freeze the hitter with that breaking pitch. That is 2 words for that breaking pitch. Filthy. Unbelievable. Another strikeout. And Joshua Kingery now has 11 on the game after the top of the 6th, and Blue Earth is retired. They still trail by a score of 2-1. More action coming your way here in a moment.
Star Tribune covers high school sports as passionately as you live them. Don't miss a beat on the games you love. Check out Star Tribune all day, every day for the latest prep news, scores, and so much more.
We're going to the bottom of the 6th. Joe ruling along with Phil McLaughlin. Coming to you from Dassel. And another cathedral of baseball here for the 100th year of the Minnesota State Amateur Baseball Celebration.
Joel, I got to be honest with you, listening to this song coming back, they play this at Lambeau Field, another cathedral stadium, but for football.
See that?
And I do have to be honest with you, I'm a Packer fan.
Okay, we're going to start limiting some airtime at this point. But
the great difference, though, between football and baseball, football, you can have brute strength. You can have speed. Speed wins, strength wins. Baseball, it's not always the biggest guys. It's not always the fastest guys. And we've been talking a lot about fundamentals and doing the little things. And if you can do the little things better or do more little things, you're going to be successful. So,
absolutely right. And a great point. There's a hit.
And also go, Pat, go.
He had to sneak that in.
Hey, we're 2 weeks away from fall weather and football. So I love the state tournament, but I also love football as well.
I'm with you there. So Diller Shell draws the walk after being hit by a pitch. And for Bird Island, they get that leadoff runner on again. The last time that happened, they scored and took the lead. A bunt attempt by Logan Swan. Rose foul. Swan on the season, a 159 hitter, 284 on base percentage. And here we come to, the case here where you're getting to that lower part of the lineup, and now we're going to get a pinch runner.
Number 27, Nick Taylor.
Taylor's running for Dillershall.
Do you think he has some speed? Nick Taylor on the season, 3 stolen bases. And with a taller pitcher now throwing in Magers, you're going to see you're there to draw. Hey, talk about situation. That's what you're there to do, draw or throw over. You want to see him throw it over. And see if you can move that runner down. A bunt right back to the pitcher. Thinks about going to second and almost throws it again away. Kind of a different throwing motion. We were talking about the behaviors that are changed when you bunt. And that was more like a push throw for the pitcher. He didn't do the technique.
Yep.
Almost. And when you do that, that ball floats on you. And so when the runner advances, he gets the out. I'll let that go. But it's Dylan Gass. But just those little things we talk about make a big difference in the game here when it comes down to technique. You see those smaller players with fast hands and the technique, and they're just clean. People wonder, how can those guys hit the ball out of the park or just drive it like that? But sacrifice bunt here. Now stepping in is, again, Dylan Gass, who struck out his first 2 plate appearances today. He's used to bringing the gas as a pitcher, not necessarily the recipient. One runner on second. Breaking pitch that time out of the zone. The DH. And you're looking at the defensive set. They really shifted to that right side, to third base side. That's a big gap in right field.
It was a huge hole between second and first.
Called strike there. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And you're thinking, just get the bat head out. Keep those hands above the ball. Tries it there. Didn't miss that by much. And you see it time and time again sometimes when they're hitting, if it's an off-speed pitch, that ball, the hands drop below the ball, and hence those flyouts. And trying to keep those hands on top of the ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bird Island with a runner on second, trying to extend this 2-1 lead, staying alive. Good job. Good at bat by Gass.
Well, good battle.
Of course, you probably like these Bullfrog uniforms being a Packer fan. With the 1 out here, still a gap over between the second baseman and first, and close to a called third strike, but it is called a ball, so running it full here with 3 balls and 2 strikes. This bottom of the 6th matchup between Blue Earth, who took a 1-0 lead in the first, and Bird Island. There he draws the walk, an excellent at bat.
You were talking about the pitcher throwing over to first base. I'm also a Cubs fan, and John Lester, for years, we watched him, and he would always have a struggle fielding a bunt and throwing over to first base. And it became a mental thing for him, and it just something you watch and shake your head at, Major League Baseball player that can't throw the ball 10 feet.
Yeah, that was. I was at a Wrigley game. There's a number here. Stepping up is the number 9 hitter in Zeke Walton, who doubled his last time up. In fact, that was the first pitch tossed by Majors when he collected that double. He just entered the game last inning and gave up the run. Again, he pitched against Stark, went 5 2/3, struck out 8, did not give up a hit. At it again. And so you watch tendencies too, watch releases. And you look to see, I don't like to be overly analytical because then I get really dumb. Paralysis through analysis. But I would say little tendencies you pick up. What's he like to throw? And how do they want to adjust? What's he doing when that ball gets into the mitt? Is he making any adjustments? 0-2 on the count now to Walton. That's lifted to center. See if they can bait a throw. They get the throw back in, but I still like the idea of forcing that throw. You can never tell. It gets away. Adrenaline does funny things, and sometimes it brings some heavy juice. Terstig now leading off again after the fly out by Walton with 2 outs. Still runners at first and second for Bird Island, as they would love to get another run across. These types of game, 1 run seems like maybe 3. Terstig singled his second at bat and then flew to right field his last time up. 1 for 3. for a 300 hitter with a 369 on-base percentage. He went that time and called for the strike. He also leads the team in runs scored with 19. Looking across, 0-2. What did he throw at 0-2? I think he's going to just try to rear this one and get at it. Maybe walk the ladder on the fastball. And that's what he did. But he didn't take the bait. Tierstick again digs in. Trash slaps this to right. This could be down. It is. It's beyond the reach of the right fielder after the dime. Tierstick on his way to second. One run is in. A second run is in. A 2 RBI triple for Braden Tierstick has now given this Bowl team a 4-1 lead. What a great job of hitting, but especially those last two hitters, just continuing to kind of push it. And that time he wasn't going to try to pull it. That ball was up in that high cheese area and got the barrelhead out and punched it down the right field line. And your right fielder made a nice effort, but just could not quite come up with that play down the right field line, which resulted in a triple for Tierstick, his second hit of the game. 2 RBIs for him and 2 runs here for the Frogs. And they go up now 4-1. Bottom of the 6th. Coach goes out, has a quick chat with his pitcher, Magers, and now he is going to face the number 2 hitter in Trent Aspman with 2 hits tonight. 2 hits and an RBI that time. Good breaking pitch to get things set. 275 hitter for Aspman. Low and in, can't find it. Now finally to the right. So the pitcher calls out. Trying to see if there's anyone warming up for the Blue Earth squad.
You know, Joe, home runs are great, but there's nothing as exciting as a triple. And there's not a lot of triples in Major League Baseball, but you get down in this level. Had a couple of triples earlier today. I don't know if it's just is he going to stretch it out to 3 bags or not, but, I mean, it is fun to watch. That was a big play there off the bat at Tierstick.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, you've probably been out in the field as well, and it's like myself, you're wondering, okay, I got to get this one. I got to get this ball. And then you're wondering, should I play it safe?
Yeah.
And he extended himself. A nice effort just off the tip of the glove in right field for Blue Earth. And then Tierstick, you're right, raced around for that triple. Scampering in 2 more runs for the Bullfrogs as they came in with a mark of 24-4. In the midst right now of another win streak. Lifted high. In fact, Bird Island in the month of May went 2-1. In June, they were 7-2. In July, they were 12-1. And currently here in August, they're at 4-0. Strike 3. I appreciate that. Even the fact that Aspman didn't try to show up the umpire. He just knew that he was fooled. That was a good pitch. Called third strike, and we are at the end of 6 complete. Bird Island has taken a 4-1 lead. We'll return with more baseball. Top half of the 7th here from Dassel. Beautiful baseball complex. A wind that's blowing out now back out to center field. Putting on a pitching clinic so far today has been Joshua Kingery. He can hit the ball too. Hit a home run 400 feet plus. Just a couple of weeks ago, he can really get at it. But definitely been in dominant mode here. Although Blue Earth's had some chances, but they've had him diffused by some nice plays defensively by Bird Island. Sending to the plate this inning for Blue Earth. Their number 9 hitter, and then they'll flip the lineup. Hitting is Myers. Myers, the second baseman, has struck out twice today. Last night I had a chance to call the Laverne and the Blue Jays game. The thing that we talk about baseball being an interesting game. A bouncer back to Kingery. He'll retire. First out here in the top half of the 7th. And now they flip the lineup. Number 1 hitter. And that is Sokolsky. Cody Sokolsky, 0 for 3. Struck out his first time up, got caught looking, punched out his second time up in the 3rd inning. And his 3rd at bat flew to center field. But there are just some days when you're hitting and you get certain pitchers, it just feels like you're laboring up there. And you watch and you try to look for an opportunity. But in the Plato Laverne game last night, Phil, there was a hitter for Plato who was just having the toughest of time. He had struck out 4 times, and he had a chance with the bases loaded. You just wanted him to avenge that, and he could have put Plato up by maybe a couple more runs and struck out for that 5th time. And then Plato came in. Here's a ground ball, hit the 3rd across the diamond for the out. Sokolsky is retired for the 4th time today, and that'll bring the number 2 hitter up, Hunter Blease. Blease struck out his first at bat, reached on a hit in the 3rd on a second at bat, but then got picked off by Kingery and then flew to left field in his 3rd at bat. But that was such a tough thing with the game is so mental, and you want to see the guy get a hit and get a knock and offset and a revenge. And the fact that he didn't, he struck out, it was like, gosh. Baseball is such a game where you got to come over a lot of negative, and then you have to walk back. When it's all said and done, I'm not sure that may even feel that bad in MLB, but in that situation, he could have put him up by at least a couple more runs, and they went to the bottom of the 9th, and Laverne scored 2 runs to take the win.
So
4-3.
Joe, if you were his coach, would you have him go to the batting cage the next day or not even pick up a bat?
I think I'd step away, kind of delete that mental hard drive.
Give him some time.
Another strikeout here for
That's a dozen,
Kingery.
right? That's 12?
That is 12, a dozen for Kingery, and that is unbelievable. Great job here. We've got one more spot to give you, and then we'll return for the
For all your
remaining.
scoreboard, video display, and sound system needs, please give Amy Electronics a call and let their 35-plus years of experience help elevate your game day atmosphere to the next level. Amy Electronics is a local Daktronics representative throughout Minnesota and can be reached at 952-941-9830. Amy Electronics is located in Eden Prairie, Minnesota, just off of Highway 169, Highway 212, and Interstate 494.
Minnesota is celebrating a century of state town ball championships. 80 teams in 2 classes chasing a late summer's dream. For a comprehensive recap of the weekend of state tournament stories and highlights, tune in to Bally's Sports North on Sundays for Amateur Baseball Today, presented by the Minnesota Baseball Association. It debuts right after the Twins Live postgame show. Amateur Baseball Today on Bally's Sports North.
Well, that might have been Harry Carey.
That was, yep. They've been playing that.
The unplugged version of Harry Carey. Of course, that's always a treat at Wrigley. And I had mentioned last time when I was at Wrigley, I did get a chance to see John Lester pitch. And gymnastics, so my wife is a gymnast at TU.
Okay.
And she talks about it being the twisties.
Oh, sure.
And you saw that in the Olympics with a couple, but she's like, it's so tough. You can't, your mind goes blank. You're just a mindset. And I think of that when you're hitting and you're striking out about some of the twisties. Or that play for Knobloch, who couldn't throw it to first for a while.
Yep.
And then Lester, it's just sometimes you got to just step away, clear the head, hit the lead. Bottom of the 7th. Here come the Frogs. Trying to extend their win streak here, and they go bottom of the 7th. Down low. And Wolfel leading off. And in tight 3-0. I thought last inning I might have seen near the end of the inning a couple of pitchers heading down, or maybe just a pitcher catcher. There's a knock up the middle. I love see those hands, man. Great hands by Jimmy Wolfel.
That was on a 3-0 count too.
Right. Yep, I think he just brought it across and thought, okay, let's get at this. Third knock of the day after Wolfel. Wolfel struck out his first at bat of the game and has come back for 3 consecutive singles. Here in the bottom of the 7th, followed by Elfring. Elfring grounded back to the pitcher. His last at bat. Pass ball. That came hard off of that backstop. Wolfel now advances to second to catcher, making the rounds, but would like to score and punch up something here. He's going to find it to right field. This ball floats back. Corralled, caught. And good job of really not giving up on that throw. I didn't know. Wolfel thought maybe he may have an easy run to third or not, but hey, they ran the cut, forcing Wolfel to do a head first dive. He's now at third with just one out on the fly out to right field by Elfring. Brings up Sagadal, and the infield comes in. Another just a ball that just kind of gets away, or a mix-up on the communication, but that can be a challenge here. Pitch here, lifted, foul. Northwest Woods player. He's rejoins the team after that season ended with Sagadal. Came in leading his team in hitting at 404. Called a strike there. Jordan, so far today, a strikeout his first at bat, a double, and then he scored the first run for Bird Island to tie it up. That was in the 4th. He was retired on a strikeout there. So 2 outs with a runner at third. Nice to push that run across.
17, Sean Dollarshell.
And stepping in is Dollarshell. Third baseman has walked a couple of times. His first and his last, and had a sacrifice bunt in the fourth. It's also such a game of momentum. When runs are coming, you think, oh, they're always going to come. They're just going to keep coming.
Well, and there's something psychological, too, about being down by 3 versus being down by 4, right?
It's so
down
right.
by 3, you're still able to come back. It's still doable.
Here's a ground ball. The third hard hit gets underneath the garage door there. That was a hard struck ball. Dollarshell picks up an RBI. Didn't see if they gave that an error. Like to call those getting under the garage door if it's under the glove. But nonetheless, a run scores. That's a big run here. Woelfel, who led the inning off with a single, got to second on a pass ball, then advanced to third on a sacrifice fly to right field. Put him in possession to score on that error at third. 5-1 lead here in the bottom of the seventh. So you're going to pull Kingery coming into this last inning of the eighth?
I don't know what they've got for their depth in pitching, their relief.
I don't think they can get him off the mound, personally. I think they're going to need a tow truck to get him off the mound. As I mentioned earlier, pitch count is irrelevant. The kid's got a heck of an arm.
Yeah.
And when you're playing here at the state tournament, you get a week off.
Right.
He threw 156 pitches against Marshall.
What was the score of that
1-0.
game? 1-0.
That came straight from his dad, Mike Kingery, before the game. Look here at Logan Swan. With the 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs, 1 run in already here in the bottom of the seventh. And this one's lifted to left field. With the wind blowing out, it'll easily get to left, and it's handled there for the third out. Bottom of the seventh, 1 run in, 1 runner left on. And Bird Island has extended their lead to 5-1 as we head to the top half of the eighth.
MaxBat is proud to support the Minnesota Baseball Association as we are the official wood bat. We take great pride in producing high-quality wood bats for professional, amateur, and youth baseball players worldwide. At MaxBat, our main focus is quality, customer service, and quick turnaround time. All MaxBats are created using meticulous hand craftsmanship and engineering in our state-of-the-art facility in the heart of town ball country, Brewton, Minnesota. Minnesota amateur baseball has always been a big part of our success. We want to thank you for your continued support and for making us the leading wood bat brand in Minnesota. Good luck to all our loyal customers playing in the state tournament.
3, 4, and 5 hitters. Joe rolling along with Phil McLaughlin.
Update on the Twins score here. They do trail by 1 in the top of the ninth, 5-4 against the Rangers. Looks like Dallas Keuchel has been pitching in relief for the Twins. 4 1/3 innings here so far.
Wow. It looked like they had a strange rotation last night, as it was tied and Duran threw in the 8th, and then they had Jax throw in the 9th, and then that 9th inning blew up on him. Stepping in, and good meat of the order here, Brandon Olson. 3, 4, and 5 hitters for Blue Earth. Olson on tonight, in the afternoon rather, has walked twice and struck out once. Backdoor breaking pitch that time, brought it in all the way from first. Good spin rate on that pitch by Kingery. You know, you're talking about technique and all those elements. his technique, he looks effortless when he throws his ball. Oh, and pitching is all about the base, right? It's all about using those legs. You think of Ron Guidry, I'm dating myself. But a lot of those guys, Don Gullett, or just a lot of that base for left-handed hitters, pitchers rather, makes it look easy. Strikeout number 13 now.
And after the Baker's dozen, I do see two guys going to the bullpen. Trotting down there to warm up, potentially for the 9th inning. Or potentially just to get some work in, as Kingery may go the distance.
Yeah, well, they may need to just bring him over to the dugout and have the team jump on top of him, not allowing him to go back out for that last inning. Malo, who I'm quite certain I cursed and said that he had just struck out 2 times the whole season. And then he struck out, proceeded to strike out on the next pitch. And that was all the way back into the 5th. He hasn't batted since the 5th inning. They've been putting him down in order, and there's a swing and a miss. Strikeout number 14.
And from the Little League World Series, top of the 5th inning, El Segundo, California, tacking on a few more runs. They lead 5-1 over Wilmstead Caraco. That is the World Series championship game.
Wow. Bringing up Lee Hodges. Hodges, the number 5 hitter, has a hit. And then also a strikeout his last time up. Or excuse me, a ground out to short the last time up. Top half of the 8th and check swing. I remember playing against, this is how old I am, Kingery's dad, Mike Kingery. Swung on and miss. Striking out the side in the 8th inning. Team comes out to greet Kingery. That tells me he's probably done for the afternoon, because they are going to pile on top of him now. They're all kind of getting around him, and they're not going to let him go back out on the mound. It's a 5-1 lead for Bird Island as we go to the bottom of the 8th in Kingery. 14 strikeouts. Is that what we have? 15 on the night. 15 strikeouts. He's been dominant. And we said it earlier, these types of pitchers, you got to get to them early, first, second inning, and try to pounce on it. They got out in that first inning, did Blue Earth, and they scored a run. But they got stymied the rest of the way. The better chance to score was in that 4th inning when they had bases juiced. And, of course, he struck out the hitter to end the inning. But playing so solid all across the way here. And they're going to stick here with Majors, and he will go here, Lewis Majors, to the bottom of the 8th. He's got some lightning fast stuff. But he was treated kind of rudely when he came into the game. First pitch and a double. Struck by the number 9 hitter, Zeke Walton. And it's kind of funny because that really set the tempo for the rest of the game. And I'm kind of always a big MPO, mindset predicts outcomes. And as a former leadoff hitter, you just sometimes always think about what you can control and what you can't. But you got to get back up there. Sometimes that strikeout is just temporary. That's at least what I try to tell my coaches so they wouldn't take me out. We got a pinch hitter coming up here. Riley Deacon, number 12, will get a look at some pitches now for the Bullfrogs as he'll hit for gas. Great to see. All Deacon comes in hitting 167. But here's the thing I always like to, hey, you want to get guys at bats. You never know when a situation is going to happen. And game time at bats are so valuable. It's just like football, right? Game time experience, nothing like that. You can practice all you want, but I always say sometimes if you aren't prepared, especially in football and or in baseball and there's elements, anxiety goes up, IQ goes down if you don't get enough reps. Of course, that's me in the water. Just a horrible swimmer. I can maybe do a lap in the tub, but that's where I get the anxiety goes up, IQ goes down. So, swung on and missed. Down in the count. We're even at our 3 balls, 2 strikes now for Deacon. And you have football coming up.
Yes, sir, I do.
Century football?
Crown College.
I'm sorry, Crown College.
Yep.
Play-by-play there.
Play-by-play voice of the Crown College Polars.
Swung on, strikeout here for Bird Island to lead off the bottom of the 8th. How are they going to look this year?
I think they're going to be pretty decent. They only have a 9-game schedule this year. One of the schools in their conference actually closed. A lot of hardship with colleges after the pandemic and stuff. So they scrambled to get a couple more schools on the schedule. They've got 9 games, 4 at home. So it'll be an interesting season.
Zeke Walton, a number 9 hitter. And he really ignited Bird Island in that 5th inning. He greeted Majors with a double on his first pitch, and he came around to score what right now would be the game-winning run. It stands that way. It also means that Athman would have the game-winning hit.
Yeah, but the roster for Crown this year, the biggest that they've had in many years. 70 guys on the team coming into camp. Their head coach, Anthony France, in his 3rd season. So looking to build the program. And that play-by-play is just so much different, they talk about juice. There's a lot of emotion in juice, especially before the first kickoff. And, love doing games for college football, love doing games for baseball, but very different.
It's nice to be on the field before that football game, isn't it? Just to kind of feel that. When I'm on the field, I see a lot of guys eyeing me up to tackle me as a tackling dummy, but they don't think I can see that. But it is. That's such great energy. And coming around here, here's a shot hit the center. This one going back, all the way back to the warning track and hauling it in on a nice play of tracking that fly ball by Sokolsky. And he goes into kind of that weird niche corner. Another fine element of this field is just kind of the little niches, and this time it comes out a little bit to support and get in front of a light. 385, by the way, to center. Is that what that says, 385?
Yes.
And then 310 down the lines. So out number 2, well struck by Luke Walton. I thought that was going to go for at least extra bases. And a fine play in center field. Flips the lineup now to the leadoff hitter, Tierstig, who tripled his last time up and picked up a couple of RBIs. That was in the 6th. Excuse me, the 7th. Kick that up. So we, as in Bird Island, have a chance to advance to that championship weekend of Labor Day here for this 100th anniversary of Minnesota amateur baseball. What a tradition. Delivery here. Hard ground ball to second, taking a knee. And Bird Island is retired in the bottom of the 8th. We're going to the 9th, folks. It's a 5-1 lead for this Frog squad. And you know what? We talked about anxiety goes up and IQ goes down, and I don't like to share the story, but I was high school football. I played for a small school, so a couple of guys got injured. And all of a sudden, they're like, Rulin, get in there. You got to get in and take this punt. I'm like, what? So I was on a punt return. And all of a sudden, I'm like, what the heck? And I didn't even practice any punt returns. They just said, just let it bounce. And go, just get back there and make sure, just let it bounce.
Yep.
All of a sudden, the punt's like coming right at me. And I'm like, holy, I've got gunners coming down on both sides. And then I felt like Forrest Gump because I forgot that I could fair catch. And I just took off upfield and I ran out of my shoe and picked up 20, and I was back there the rest of the season returning punts.
There you go.
But it's just getting reps on those things. It's funny. So we got a change in pitching. I believe they do have Kingery commandeered in the dugout and under control. But after striking out 15, they said, hey, we're going to give somebody else a chance, all right? Let's give somebody else a run out there, and this is going to be Dylan Gass. Part of a reason why he didn't hit because he was also warming up in the bullpen. And Gass can be just that. He can bring the gas.
A tough act to follow, though, as he comes in, after 15 strikeouts.
Oh.
But, I mean, as you said, he's got some good pitches of his own, and I think he said right around a 3-run ERA. So
yeah, he's on the season, 6-0 on the season. He picked up the win in their win against Lions Pub as a starting pitcher. He has thrown 56 innings and has an ERA under 1 of .320. Also with
.30.
Yeah.
Even more impressive.
It's like my body fat. 44 strikeouts and 7 walks on the season for Gass. We're going to get a pinch hitter as well for the squad for Blue Earth.
Is that Garrett Anderson?
I think you're right. 00. What's your favorite number? If you were going to play, what number would you want to wear?
It would depend on the sport. But 73 was my football number in college, so I always kind of go to that one.
Ron Yeri.
Right now it's Adbert Azalea, the closer for the Cubs.
Oh,
first ever Chicago Cub to wear 73. So.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you are a Cubs fan.
I am.
Hard ground ball, scooped up, flashing the leather at third and making the play for the first out here in the top half of the ninth for the Bullfrogs. Flashing the leather and a good hard throw at third base. Dollar Shell comes up with that gem of a play.
Dollar Shell's got an arm. When the third baseman's got a confident arm when he takes a little time on the ground ball. Not on that one, but on some other ones. He'll take his time and have that strong, accurate throw.
Yeah, he does. He just kind of lets him get a little lead and then fires the bullet.
Yep.
Throws a dime. Logan Janke now batting here for Blue Earth, and Blue Earth at this point would end their season. Swung on and missed there. So I mentioned they started the season 0-5. And then continued to get at their way. Got their way and things set, corrected, all of that. If they cannot come back tonight, this afternoon, they would fall to a season record of 14-11, but still an impressive season the time he went. And he now kind of concedes it by not trying to run. You had sometimes when people think, tag him, when you move at least, I think it's about 15 feet from home plate, you concede that you are out.
Okay.
Many, I think even hitters may not be aware, but
I don't know if I knew that, yeah.
So if they're starting to walk towards the dugout and somebody says, they didn't tag you, hurry up and get back there, you've already conceded it after a certain length, distance from the plate. So 2 down, and Gass gets his first strikeout of the game. That's the 16th for Bird Island here on the afternoon. And another pinch hitter. A lefty here. And that is going to be Stallman. Is that TJ Stallman? Joe Rulland along with Phil McLaughlin. Phil, I enjoy having you here on the call.
It's been a pleasure.
We get another one here right after this. Bird Island, they used to host, but still do, the county fair for Renville.
Okay.
That's the county that I grew up in, and about 16 miles south to that Metropolis Morton, now copyright Jackpot Junction. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and way out on that pitch by Gass. As I mentioned, he had only walked 6 guys all year. So that's kind of an anomaly.
Not sure if you marked down the first pitch time. You know, this game about 2 hours. I think it was right around 2 o'clock.
Yep, you're right.
I will say this game has flown by, being able to do some color commentary with you today.
Well, most people would say just the opposite if they have to call a game. It's like root canal without Novocaine, Joe. The thing just went on forever. But thank you, Phil. Great to have you here. And down to the last out here, and maybe a new hitter. And down to the last strike. Actually not. There's a base hit and a knock for the number 9 hitter. Myers collects his first hit.
Parker Myers
collects it, so he was 0 for 3 previously, 2 strikeouts. And Sokolsky, the leadoff hitter now, trying to keep it alive. 5-1 lead for Bird Island. There's 2 outs and the bases. Well, first and second here. Sokolsky on the afternoon has had an 0 for 4. Kind of what Blue Earth had in May, kind of an 0 for 4, I believe, was their start. But they made the changes. Certainly saw that improvement to advance here to a state tournament. And a first-round win over Stark, 7-2. 2 strikes on. Sokolsky, Gass, here to close it out for Bird Island in the bottom of the top half of the ninth. Swung on and missed. The ball continues to move down, and they call it an out. Yes. Second strikeout of the inning for Gass. And a total of 17 strikeouts for Bird Island pitching on the afternoon, and they take home a 5-1 win. Josh Kingery throws 8, gives up 1 run, and strikes out 15 on the game. So an impressive advance that makes that a final game here. And Bird Island now advances to the Labor Day State Championship weekend. And they'll continue to send those schedules for you. But a big win, 5-1, Bird Island over the Blue Earth Pirates. The Bird Island squad moves to 25-4 on this season. And meanwhile, for Blue Earth, they end a mark at 14-11. Thanks for joining us. Joe Rulland along with Phil McLaughlin for NSPN TV. Have yourself a major league evening at a minor league price.